The story of Call of Duty Zombies is massive, but it all revolves around one man, arguably, Dr. Ludvig Maxis. From the very beginning in World at War to the sprawling universe of the Black Ops series, Maxis grew from a simple background voice to a world-destroying villain and eventually a floating robot brain. It's... Who comes up with some of this shit, honestly? I mean, this is before it got a bit convoluted, shall we say. Anyway. His story is a wild ride of science, betrayal, and a father's love for his daughter. To understand the whole story of zombies, you have to understand the man who started it all. When the creators of Call of Duty designed Dr. Maxis and his secret team Group 935, which I've done a video on, they looked closely at real history. During World War II, there were many secret science projects. Germany had hidden weapon factories, and the United States had the Manhattan Project. Maxis represents the classic idea of a scientist who cares more about his experiments than about human life. This is very similar to real-world events like Operation Paperclip, where governments took in scientists who had done terrible things just to use their research. We've talked about this with the Outlast videos. Paperclip is messed up, to say the least. I need to do more Outlast, but I've done a lot, and I'm trying to fill up the other playlists. In the early games, players only knew Maxis through his voice on hidden audio tapes. He sounded like a cold, demanding boss, but his actual design shines in the map Origins from Black Ops 2. In this map, his physical body is gone and his brain is placed inside a flying machine. This creation, called the Maxis drone, very clever name from the developers there, is a mix of old-fashioned brass metal and glowing yellow lights. It looks like a steampunk helicopter with a human brain glowing inside a glass jar. It's a very cool and creepy design that perfectly shows how man and machine have merged in the game. If you're familiar with robo-brains from Fallout, which again is a whole other subject that I have to get through at one point, but it's similar to like the heads of one of them. But if you're watching this, you know who Maxis is. You're not just... Well, I wouldn't blame you if you're watching this without the context of Call of Duty, but you do whatever you want. I really don't mind. I'm not your dad. Happy Father's Day. I'm recording this on Father's Day in the UK. Anyway, according to the wiki, the story begins at a secret facility called Dois. Maxis was the leader of Group 935, where he and his assistant, Dr. Edward Richtofen, Zesty Richtofen, discovered a magic space rock called Element 115. They used it to make teleporters, powerful weapons, and eventually the zombies themselves. But Maxis started to lose focus. He fell in love with his secretary and spent all his time worrying about his young daughter, Samantha. Richtofen felt that Maxis was ruining their work. The turning point happened during an experiment with Samantha's pregnant dog, Fluffy. Maxis tried to teleport the dog, but the machine broke, turning Fluffy into a fiery monster that would later be known as a hellhound. When Samantha ran into the room to see her dog, Richtofen saw his chance. He locked Maxis and Samantha in the room with the hungry monster and turned on the teleporter. This betrayal is the spark that lights the entire story. At least the original timeline. Timelines are going to get messy, as you will find out. Maxis was transported to a strange dimension, but his soul survived by living inside the base's computers. Samantha was teleported to a base on the moon, where she gained magic powers and took control of the zombie army to get revenge. At the end of the first Black Ops game, Maxis talks to the players through the computer, where... Oh, sorry. Having Maxis could be after just talking about Samantha. It's confusing. I've wrote this very weird. Maxis talks to the player through the computer, where he tells them to launch rockets at the Earth to stop Richtofen from taking control. But this was a trick, and the rockets destroyed the Earth, killing billions of people. The Near Pure Evil wiki notes that this moment proved Maxis had become completely crazy and was willing to murder the whole world just to get back at Richtofen. The story continues in Black Ops 2, where the Earth is a broken, fiery wasteland. Maxis is now just a voice trapped in electronics, where he talks to a new group of survivors through radios and television. He asks them to build giant towers across the broken planet, where at the same time Richtofen is also talking to the survivors, telling them to help him instead. If the player chooses to follow Maxis all the way to the final map, Buried, it's not the final map of the game, but it's the final for the plotline before they soft rebooted it. They unlock a very dark ending. Once the final tower is turned on, Maxis reveals his true colours. He uses the power of the towers to rip Richtofen's soul out of his body and traps him inside a single mindless zombie. Then Maxis takes control of the army, where he decides that the Earth is ruined beyond saving, so he destroys the rest of the planet to open a gateway to a perfect heaven called Agartha. Hoping to find his daughter, he leaves the surviving humans to die. The creators of the game knew the story had gotten very messy, so they created a new timeline in the map Origins. In this new universe known as Dimension 63, Maxis is a much kinder man. He acts as a father figure to a young, good version of Richtofen, at least initially. It's Richtofen, he's going to go mad at one point. When a zombie outbreak happens, Maxis is infected, and in order to save his life, Richtofen carefully removes his brain and puts it into the famous Maxis drone. Throughout Black Ops 3, this good version of Maxis helps the heroes travel through different universes to fix the broken timelines. He acts as a guide living inside their computer systems and the glowing summoning key artifact. This is a long video, I can only apologise. However, the story of Maxis has a sad and final ending. In the later games, a powerful godlike being known as Dr. Monty, or the Shadow Man, realises that the universe will never be safe as long as the old characters exist. Because Maxis spent so much time exposed to dark magic and travelling through time, his soul was corrupted. Dr. Monty decided that Maxis is a danger to the perfect new world he wants to build, so without any warning, Dr. Monty simply waves his hand and erases Dr. Maxis from existence entirely. It's a sudden and quiet end for a man who caused so much noise and destruction. Looking back now, Dr. Maxis is the true centre of the Call of Duty zombie story. He started as a brilliant scientist, became a father ruined by grief, turned into a villain who broke the world, and finally ended as a helpful friend who gave everything to fix his mistakes. His legacy lives on through his daughter Samantha, who continues to fight the darkness in the newer games, -7, because they seem to have forgotten about her, probably until the final map. Anyway, carrying the Maxis name into the future.